So this is Christmas. What have you done, KH? I've been eating pepper cake cookies, some foam Santas. Yeah. Hello everyone and Merry Christmas. Welcome back. Join me for a very special episode of the Shakakapow Christmas. Now, you guys know that I like to do at least one very Christmassy comic book every year. And in 2020, we did Klaus, the new adventures of Santa Claus. But while I was reading this comic book and preparing for the review, I discovered that this wasn't the first comic book in the series. So this was the second one. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I can review the first one next year. And then last year, I finally got my hands on The Life and Times of Santa Claus. And I was like, yeah, we're finally going to check out the origin story in the first comic book and find out what happens and review the first one. Nah, this was the third one. So, after 3 years, we're finally going to see the origin story of Santa. So we're finally reviewing Klaus, how Santa Claus began. Okay. Now this is a Grant Morrison comic book, same as the other ones. And this is the first one. We have Dan Mora here on the illustrations. And the illustrations are amazing. This combo of Grant Morrison and Dan Mora, I just love it. The style, everything, the characters. I hope they do a lot more of these comic books. And when, like, this one had 2 short stories. This one had 1 story and 24 pages of art. It was like an advent calendar that told the story of Santa, which was kind of cool. But this one is one big book with just 1 story. And the story here is amazing. Yeah. Okay, I'll try to... You guys know I don't like to go too much into spoilers. I always want you guys to enjoy the comic books for yourself. But yeah, so our story starts with Santa visiting the city of Grimsvig. And this is a place where he kind of lived or grew up. And once he comes back, he's back to trade some wares and stuff, but he very quickly discovers that something weird is going on here in the city, and it's become this very totalitarian state. He enters the town and the guards are hostile, and like there are a lot of weird things, like kids aren't allowed to play with toys, you're not allowed to make a wish, and yeah, he goes into this tavern and he has a drink, but then like the guards come and tell him like, hey, you have to move along, blah blah blah. But then there's a kid on the streets playing with a rock, and then one of the guards, he says like, kid, no toys allowed. And Santa's like, it's not a toy, that's a rock. And the guard is like, anything can be a toy in a kid's hands. So he smacks the kid, and then Santa steps in and beats up the guard. But then the other guards attack Santa and beat him up and capture him and tie him up. And then they kind of they throw Santa out of the city and have him walk into the wilds with his hands tied behind his back, and then they come to hunt him down. This is just like very early in the story, and spoilers. So Santa's in big trouble, and the guards, like, they shoot him with a bow and arrow and they're ready to kill him, but then they didn't count on Santa's trusty helper, Lilith, the wolf. So Lilith jumps in and attacks the guards and saves Santa, and then they run away. And from here, as we read, it's we kind of follow Santa as he's sneaking into the city, trying to find out what happened and what's going on. We discover that like the tyrant running the town is forcing people to work in the coal mines, and they're like mining to unleash some ancient evil. Yeah, not gonna say much more. This is a very, very well written comic book and a great story. It's dark, it's grim, but not too violent or anything. It balances very perfectly between being a good fantasy story that anyone can read, and it has some dark things and dark themes. Yeah, this is my favorite of the three, and I'm definitely gonna read this probably every Christmas. If I was gonna rate this, I would say actually like this is a 10 out of 10 comic book. This is just a perfect comic book. I totally recommend this one. You guys have to read this if you want something really nice to read for Christmas to get you in the Christmas spirit, or you just want a good Grant Morrison comic book. This is perfect. This is amazing. And as I said, the art and Grant Morrison's writing, the characters, everything in this universe is so cool. I hope these two guys do a lot more Klaus comic books so I can review them for Christmas. Okay, Klaus, How Santa Claus Began. Check it out. Amazing. Okay. Finally something other than Spawn, right? Stay tuned, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching the videos and us doing all this Christmas madness together. And yeah, we're gonna do more Christmas videos, so come back and have a wonderful Yule time. God jul! See you in the next video.